Warning: the following audio podcast may include language of an adult, nonsensical, repetitive, and quite frankly, moronic nature. On the plus side, if you watch the video version, you get to see two sexy motherfuckers. Enjoy the show.
You're a rapper.
Yes.
An entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you like fish sticks.
Yes.
You're a gay fish.
No, I am not no gay fish.
Just gay?
I'm not gay and I'm not a fish. Man.
You are male.
Damn right I'm male.
A male that likes fish dicks.
Yeah, I like fish sticks.
You like to put fish dicks in your mouth.
Yeah.
You're a gay fish.
All right, that does it. I'm gonna kick your motherfucking ass.
And now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 140, T's and P's to your local Hooters, Humpback Whales are arseholes, and Timothy Shamalamalamalamalamale gets the movie review treatment. I'm Mike Fish, and I am joined, as always, by the main man from San Fran. It's Mr. Kush. Hey, Kush, how you doing, buddy?
Sukahar, Ukahar, y'all. Kush Hayes here, coming to you, episode 140 of the Waffle Box. It's the original Waffle Box. This is the best part of Wednesday, is you accept no substitutes because it is the People's Podcast, coming to you all the way from the future home of Super Bowl 60. You love us because we do this. We do this because we love you. And yes, I have now provided you with my body's moisture. Congratulations.
Marvelous. What an intro. What an intro.
Well, you know, it's a visual medium, so.
You didn't ask the man upstairs. You didn't how he's doing?
Oh, what's shaking, Lathan?
What up, Kush? I'm doing fantastic, thank you. I must say that I am thoroughly looking forward to this weekend because the clocks change. And remember, because it's a leap year, the clocks leap forward 2 hours instead of the usual 1. You're welcome.
I don't think that's correct.
Yeah, I don't think that's right. But yes, the clocks do go forward, maybe just 1 hour, but I am thoroughly looking forward to that because, you know,
if I read things correctly, we talked about this back in December. We're like, then we have like an election about it. Well, we didn't, but someone in Congress or the Senate or whatever. So the powers that be of the United States did, and they're like, no, this is it, y'all. So this is, in theory, let's all go with a theory on this, kids, because they change their mind all the time. This is the last time we're ever going to have to change our clocks in these United States of America.
I hope so, because once we go forward, this should be it. Because I don't want to.
I'm done with it. I'm tired.
Just looking forward to so next Saturday, sunset around here is gonna be almost 7 p.m. Oh, bliss.
Yeah,
that's what
gonna be cool.
What's up? And the temperature's getting nice. I went outside for a cigarette. Don't smoke, kids. It's bad for you, and it's expensive. Makes you smell bad. But I went outside for a cigarette today, and I didn't have to put my jacket on. It was
nice.
I could just wear the regular clothes I was wearing, and just exit the house, and it was pleasant.
Bonus. If I was still a cigarette smoker, I would have been bombarded with sheets of rain. Like it was pretty bad, to the point where the kitchen window was leaking in a new spot, and then just smacking against the windows right over here. So it was it's a tumultuous weekend weather-wise.
Yeah, we had so I had to drive into Brooklyn on Saturday, and it was like torrential downpour to the point where the FDR, if you're local to New York, you know what the FDR
Franklin
is.
Delano Roosevelt Highway.
Yeah, it's the highway that goes down the east. The east side of Manhattan. Flooding. It was like treacherous. But then less than 24 hours later, it was like 70 degrees. Gorgeous. Bizarre what's going on. But anyway, how you been? How you been in the last 7 days in this crazy, wacky, spherical rock that we all live on?
Man, it's been an adventure. we didn't talk about last week, but I lost some vision in my left eye. Still unaware of what that's about, but we saw a doctor, and it gave me some steroids, so now I can lift barbells with my eyelashes. It's pretty exciting, and my vision is returning, so that's also good. And then again, we talked about the weather. I had the opportunity of seeing Ava DuVernay's new movie Origins, which came and went in January. Like, didn't even show up at my local theater here, but for whatever reason, they're like, special, one screening only, and then there's a pre-recorded Q&A. But I was like, I really want to see this movie. Fantastic fucking movie. I'm sorry we're not reviewing it tonight, but if we were, we would have given it a 5 out of 5 and said it's like maybe the most important movie in the last 10 years, and none of you saw it. Maybe none of you knew were aware of it.
Number 5.
But check that out, kids. So, but I don't know. I guess if it's not in the movie theaters right now, so like,
It's not. It'll probably be on Prime in like a month or something. Like, again, it came in and it came and went very quickly. It's tackling a lot of sensitive subjects people just don't want to talk about right now. But it's based on a true story. It's based on this book that I didn't know even existed. There are segments from the book in it, but basically this female author, she ties the Trayvon Martin case to the German Jewish Holocaust, to American slavery, to this other thing, and then just out of nowhere, like, ties it into this thing that none of us had any idea about going on in India, where you depending on who you're born to, your life, you could be a great artist, you might actually have the cure for cancer in your head, but your birthright is janitor, and guy who cleans the commodes, like, dives literally into the septic tank that's full. That's your life if you're born into the wrong house.
Well, didn't we have, like, I mean, it's not obviously nowhere near the same, but what was the Christ, what was his name? The guy who played Batman, Christian Bale. Didn't it? What was that movie where, wasn't there something similar where, like, you're born and you have to do something, you have to. What am I thinking of? I don't know.
I don't know what you're thinking about.
Oh no, I think I'm thinking of Futurama.
Well, that is completely different.
Oh, that is the first episode of Futurama where they get your career chip implanted into you.
Okay,
similar kind of dystopian shit, but obviously,
sure, that's a little more
very different outcome. Yeah, it's very different outcome.
Right, so let's just pretend you didn't even bring that up. It's okay, bud.
No, for some reason I thought of that Christian Bale movie where they burn books and they have to take pills to make sure they're all not emotional.
I think you're talking about Equilibrium.
Yeah, I don't know why that came to, but I guess it's all weird. It's all fucked up.
Yeah. Well, this is based on a true story, and that's also just a fan fiction for the book 1984 by George Orwell. And they do some karate shit in it with guns. Yeah, it's really stupid.
He had promise. In my world, on a very lighter note, I witnessed. So I went into, as I said earlier, I went to Brooklyn, and I was going to like some fancy event type thing where it's like a product launch thing, and I somehow got an invite, and it's like free alcohol and free stuff like that.
Nice.
But I was sitting there, and I was sitting next to the DJ booth, right? Okay. And they had a DJ, which I'm assuming someone, whether it be the marketing team of a company or the bar itself, I don't know, but someone paid, obviously, money, American dollars, for this DJ. And she was fucking like enjoying it. She was like, every song, she was like, I can go in nuts, whatever. She had the back, the way the DJ booth was set up, she had it back to everyone, so she couldn't, but she was still rocking out. She was loving it, right?
She can't even see her audience. That's a little weird.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird. But then I realized, once I started really paying attention to her, what she was doing, and I mean, I'm not going to knock the hustle, but she was literally playing one song and then just turning the volume down on one. And then just as soon as it got really quiet, she just turned the volume up on the next one. Like, you're not even mixing them. Like, that's just, you could, Spotify can do that, what you were doing.
I'm honestly surprised you didn't say she had a Spotify playlist doing this.
Well, I could definitely tell she was I say mixing. She was playing vinyl So she had one vinyl record going, and then she was lining up a second vinyl record. So she was DJing with vinyls.
Okay.
But there was zero mixing whatsoever. It was just literally, oh, that song's over. Turn the volume down. Oh, turn the volume on this one. But so I guess she was more of a musical curator rather than a DJ. I don't know.
Still, it's when you think about DJ, you think about beat juggling and scratching. And, you know, I'm amazed vinyl is actually in this story. But no, she is still technically a DJ. If this was again played off purely by her phone or laptop, then we get into like questionable things, and I don't have an alternate suggestion. But she's doing the bare minimum a DJ does. The bare minimum. The only way she could do less is if she went out for a smoke and just let the record play.
But hey, as I say, don't hate the player, hate the game. So
Yeah.
you know,
She made $300.
she made her money. Good for her. And that's what happened in my world.
Didn't
That's
pay her more
pretty
than
exciting.
$300. Shouldn't have paid her $50, but whatever.
In New York, like $300 is like your bar tab, like for a
Mhm.
couple of cocktails. So I'm sure she was. Anyway, that's I think that's all of my notes that I had for my week. It's a pretty slow week.
Yeah, that's not a bad thing.
Sunny, sunshine is coming, and the clocks are going forward. Marvelous. On that note, should we just kick straight into should we just
Let's just go into it.
put it into fifth gear? Make sure you
why
hit the clutch first if you're manual, but whatever. Till it's Lathan, if you could do me the honors and hit the jingle. Let's just get straight into this week's top stories.
It's now time for this week's top stories.
Insert bubbles. By the way, if you are watching the YouTube version, don't forget, please hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. We are slowly crawling away to our 100th subscriber.
Very exciting.
We are celebrating our 3-year anniversary in about like 2 months, I think it is.
Oh,
So it would be nice if you hit the 100 mark for our 3-year anniversary. You know, we're a little guy. Help us out. You know, Joe Rogan doesn't need your help. We do. So we'd appreciate it. YouTube.com/@WaffleboxPod. Hit subscribe. Thanks very much. First,
speaking of Joe Rogan, real quick, he had Cat Williams on the other day, and it's literally just like crazy talking to crazy. That's all I'm gonna say. It's 3 hours long, standard operating episode. But yeah, for every crazy thing Joe says, Cat just comes out with something also crazy, like, "You ever think about pine cones?" I just made that up off the top of my head, but that's the level we're going.
Yeah, I did see that where I saw a little clip of that where he was talking about, you know, how Hollywood is not there to entertain you anymore. It's propaganda. It's propaganda out there. And I'm like, really? I mean, what kind of propaganda was Dodgeball trying to sell me? I don't know. But maybe there are some movies out there trying to, you know, get that woke agenda.
Oh. Communism and bisexuality is good. That's in Dodgeball.
Oh, we're gonna get into the agendas later on. But
all right, that's exciting.
It is. It's an interesting story, but that's coming up next. Second story, but the first story is coming to us from Kanawha City, Charleston, West Virginia, where fans and former employees of the last Hooters to close in West Virginia gathered outside the former restaurant for a candlelight vigil ahead of the building's demolition.
Oh, nice. Demolishing it? Come on, guys.
Yeah. So the Hooters Eatery in Kanawha City, Charleston, West Virginia, closed during the COVID-19 pandemic. Did you hear about it? It was a thing in March of 2020 and unfortunately never reopened, with developers eventually announcing that the building would be demolished to make way for a Sheetz gas station. I've never heard of that brand, but good for them.
When I read this story, I was legitimately shocked. Shocked, I tells you. Now I haven't done much research, I'll admit that. But how did a Hooters restaurant fail in West Virginia? Surely that had to be the most attractive part of that place. When you think of New York, you think of Times Square. When you think of London, you think of the Tower of London. And when you think of Charleston, West Virginia, you think of, well, I mean, you just get a little sad when thinking about it, right?
Damn. I mean, it's not on my list of places to go to, but
I don't know. Have you ever been to a Hooters? I know we've talked about Hooters before.
I've been to several. I've been to
several.
Hooters in I want to say 3 countries. I went to a Hooters in Mexico. I went to Hooters in obviously these United States of Americas, and in England. Yeah, it's good shit.
I didn't know there was a Hooters in England. I should have guessed there was one in Mexico.
I believe if the town I was in Newcastle in England, and obviously in Cancun went to Hooters. I think I went to the Cancun Hooters. I've been there twice.
Did it live up to its name, or was it as disappointing as the now non-existing San Francisco chapter?
I mean, there were definitely some young ladies with voluptuous breasticles.
Okay.
And tight short. Who wears short shorts? They wore short shorts.
Okay.
It was good, but I don't. I must admit, I don't understand the hype. Like it's like the chicken's good. I don't mind. It's okay chicken.
Yeah.
Fun places to be, but yeah, I don't know. I don't understand the whole. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting old, but I don't understand the going specifically there. Like, if you want chicken, I know we need to go to Hooters so I can look at some, because it's not like strip club or anything like that. They're just wearing.
It's a strip club for beginners, and they don't strip.
I'm not knocking it. If you like Hooters, get your hoot on. But yeah, I don't know. It's nice. It's nice. Support your local Hooters, I guess. But I don't know.
But anyway, Uber one time with a guy who knew more about Hooters than I knew about anything in life.
Did he come up with any fun facts about Hooters that you can remember?
He knew all about the new Mrs. Hooters, or whatever the annual title is. And I was just like, well, I just want to go to the BART station, man. Like, I don't know how we even got started on this journey, but okay. Yeah, you just do a lot of head nodding and going, oh, interesting. Oh, not far out. Yeah.
What could be the male version of Hooters? Where they served like wieners. That's a big sausage place.
Yeah. Sausage party.
Sausage party. Oh. Do you know what? I might.
You're gonna get a lot of gay guys in there too, though. So just be warned. Be warned.
Do you know what? Back in the day, when we was in business, it used to be a phrase. I don't know if it's still a phrase now in England, because I haven't been there in a while and whatever. But they were talking about, I think there was a thing called the pink pound. It was called, where it was basically, tailoring your business to the LGBTQ plus community, because generally, obviously not always the case, but generally, a fewer percentage of those would have kids, right? They would generally not have kids unless they adopted or did the thingy with the I can't remember the exact phrasing where they get a donor but IVF, there we go, that's the thing. But anyway, generally they don't have kids, so they have more money to go around, basically. So it's, I'd be down to start a business called Sausage Party, get some of that gay crowd in there, get them spending their money. Hey,
there you
go. I don't see anything. Just green, baby. Just green. Give it up green, baby.
Gonna be a lot of hot links. Gonna be a lot of sausages. Brats. Gonna have some brats in there. Bratwurst. General
male servers wearing that orange. Maybe not orange, because I don't want to get sued by Hooters. Maybe I have to come up with new colors.
Very tight shorts with a bulge impending.
All those banana hammocks.
No. Let's have them wear real shorts, but they're not going to leave much to the imagination. We don't want to see butt cheeks. Again, at least not bare butt cheeks. Like, again, very, very tight shorts. Probably lifts the butt too, and then the occasional lonely housewife will smack them on the ass and put $1 in their shorts.
Plus, no matter what your sexuality is. No one wants to see a loose nutsack while you're being served your meal.
Exactly. Yes.
Right? No one wants to see. All right, short shorts it is. Short shorts it is. Right, writing that down.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this Hooters. So this. At first, I thought the two stories we've got tonight led me one way and then went to another direction. So at first, I thought this was just a silly story, right? I thought it was a silly story. Oh my god, people commiserating over the loss of a Hooters. What the fuck? But turns out, organizers said that the candlelight vigil started out as a joke between friends, but it took off on social media, and hundreds of people, including some former Hooters employees, turned out to pay tribute to the restaurant. Then Leo Browning, one of the organizers of the event, saw an opportunity here to make some money, but for a good cause. So he ended up turning the vigil into from a tribute to the Blood restaurant, but also for raising money for a local family in need. He said, and I quote, "One of our close friends' daughters, she was just diagnosed with a very, very, very rare disease, and it's very serious. If she doesn't get help, then she's not going to be with us for much longer," Browning said. The organizer said the money raised at the vigil will allow the families to travel to California to get treatment for this rare disease. So it's like, it's lovely. Sometimes it's lovely when humans get together. But yeah, so shout out to Hooters and shout out to Mr. Browning for raising money there. But is there any chain restaurant, Mr. Hayes, that you would, like, if they closed for good, that you'd be like, I need to pay my last respects? Like, I'm a big fan of like Outback. Outback's a good one for me. I'd be sad if my local Outback went.
I enjoy the Outback. It's about our closest one's like 40 miles away. But if it closed tomorrow, I'd just be like, oh, I gotta get a steak somewhere else. It's not that big of a deal to me. Trying to think. Honestly, no. Like, I don't really have any ties to it. I'm more upset when like the little mom and pops shops closed down. There was a great Chinese restaurant out in my old neighborhood on Judah and 46th. Just Woe's Family Chinese. Just itty bitty little shoebox, but fantastic food. 2 blocks away, cheap for how big the portions were, and they eventually closed, and I was shocked. Although there was a pizza parlor that closed like 9 years ago called Blondie's, and has since reopened up actually at the local mall. But now like a slice is $10.
Oh yeah.
So I was like, well, this tastes like the old Blondie's. And I'm happy it's closer, but this used to cost me like $4. But that was a decade ago, pre-pandemic. So
yeah, I went to a pizzeria the other day, and I guess it's just pizza. You don't think to check the price. So I just got like 2 slices and a Coke, and it was like $17. I was like, what the fuck?
Fucking hell. That's ridiculous.
I mean, it was good pizza, but still, it's just pizza.
But
still. It's just some meat and cheese on bread. Oh, no, whatever. So there you go. Poor people of West Virginia. But the next top story. So Humpback Whales.
Oh,
we're all familiar with Humpback Whales, right?
Yeah, got the things from Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek 2 or 3?
4.
Was it 4?
Number 4, The Voyage Home.
God damn, still good one. The even number Star Treks were always the best ones, if I remember correctly.
For a while.
Oh yeah, sure. But anyway, photographers and studiers and people trying to publish stories and basically scientists, I guess, photographers captured images of humpback whales engaging in sexual activity for the first time, and the mammals being intimate were both males. Ooh.
Oh. Yeah, probably not another humpback whale for like another 100 miles or something. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, I guess it's very.
They were an endangered species for a while, so it's just like, scratch my back, I'll scratch yours.
literally. So the whole discovery, the story says, was, quote, opportunistic, they said, as the whales slowly approached the photographer's boat whilst they were out in the waters west of the Hawaiian island of Maui in January of 2022.
Mhm.
So the photographers, or the photos, show a healthy, this is where it turns, a healthy strong male whale penetrating another who appears unhealthy and injured. After around half an hour, the healthy whale held the other in place with its pectoral fins and the sex took place. The authors suggested that the emaciated, which I had to look that up, just means basically like weak and not healthy. Did you know what emaciated meant?
I thought it just meant he made him a woman.
Okay. So the emaciated whale may have approached the boat initially to try to seek cover from the other male one that was chasing him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! This story definitely took a turn. Good Lord. Imagine you start out writing a paper with all the best intentions and then realize that all you've done is prove that sexual assault isn't exclusive to humans.
Right.
Well,
what
they've
this-
known that for a while. Dolphins are notorious for that shit too.
So here's my little background. This is what, because when I first started reading the story, there was a little part of me who was thinking, oh, maybe this might be a good feel-good story, because you know how it is, right? Because you've got those people. I'm not going to mention anyone, but those people who always bring up the same shit all the time about the whole, homosexuality is a choice or it's a lifestyle and blah 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 blah. So it's just nice to see, like, when there's proof that it's natural, it exists in nature out there. It's not a weird thing. It happens in nature, right? And I was, this is weird. And then I read the rest of the stories. Oh, Jesus Christ. This is maybe not the best story to highlight that. But then, doing a little bit of research, apparently dolphins, like you said, have been known to try to have sex with humans.
And have succeeded a couple times too.
Well, Jesus fucking Christ. Like, I've always wanted to swim with dolphins. Not anymore. Fuck that.
No, you
I'm
don't.
too cute. Fucking hell. It's horrible to, but it's like I said, it's almost quite endearing. Or almost, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Quite humans aren't the only asshole animals in nature. It's quite
that is
nice.
also true.
But yeah, geez, like, I just felt like similar to what Latham was saying. I guess I just felt bad for the whole. Imagine, because these photographers, nature photographers, and people do this is not like let's just pop down to the water and get our camera out. This is they're out there for months probably trying to do this, and this is what they catch. Like, fuck, Jesus Christ. There you go, humpback whales. Who'd have thunk? Star Trek made them. If anything, Captain Kirk has blood in his hands because he saved these. He could have stopped this from happening.
Uh-oh.
I'm just saying.
Awkward.
I wouldn't have made that connection, but thank you for that. But there you go. So shout out to Hooters in West Virginia. Hopefully they'll come back, and humpback whales. Chill out, man. Just chill out. Just be nice to each other. Everyone love everyone, as Jackie Moon once said in the movie Semi-Pro. Yeah, I'm sure that's how whales speak. Just ask if it's cool. Don't be. Anyway, it's a bizarre week in the news. Basically, that's what I'm trying to say. I was trying to scour the interwebs, but unless you wanted to talk about the elephant in the room over there, which we don't want to talk about that, this is what we had. So there you go.
What's the elephant in the room over there?
Well, so if you look east, right?
East.
Yep.
Looking east.
And then in the middle section of that,
okay,
there's a sketchy situation still going on in the middle section of the east. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
That's very much still highlighted. It's everywhere.
Yeah. Oh, I see the glow right over there. Yeah.
Yeah. So you're stuck with Hooters vigil, kind of like vigils, and whales humping other whales. There we go.
They're not
But
called humpback whales because they sell Girl Scout cookies.
do you reckon that's what they say in their weird weird whale voices? It's like, yeah, because from was it Kill Bill? Hey, I'm Buck, and I like to fuck. Do you
I would have
reckon?
gone with the scorpion and the turtles. I bet you knew I was a humpback whale when you spotted me in the coast.
I put the hump in humpback whale, huh?
There you go. That's a good one too.
Put that on a t-shirt. Anyway, let's talk about some people that are actually doing things with their life and achieving things. Let's talk about people who are doing things and are just annoying the fine people at the Irish Brewery of Guinness until they finally say, fine, Jesus Christ, we'll put you in that book. And here's a certificate. Shut the fuck up. Go away. Leave us alone. It's now time for this week's Dumb World Record of the week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Okay. Oh. What happened?
A plastic water bottle. That's all. Don't worry.
Schröter's boss. Elizabeth Allen. Aware of her work?
No.
No.
Is she related to George and Gracie Allen?
Maybe. I'll ask her the next time I speak to her.
George
So
and Gracie,
Elizabeth-
also the name of the humpback whales from Star Trek 4. Boom.
What? There we go. Segway. Did you make that up or was that real?
No, that's real.
Just the facts,
those
man.
whales were named after George Burns and Gracie Allen because of their ties to San Francisco. It's corny, but still.
Boom. Fantastic. Look at that. I meant to do that. The whole show is all intertwined.
It's
and
serendipity.
I'm a genius. Yeah. So anyway, Elizabeth Allen, potentially related to Humpback Whales of Greenville, South Carolina, strung together 10,000 Starburst candy wrappers, creating the longest candy wrapper chain.
Oh, okay. I thought we were going with like a quilt or a flag or something, but just a chain.
It's a chain.
So we're talking like an actual chain, or like just she just glued the edges to each other.
No, I think there was some kind of
They were all linked together, not just
somehow. You're not in glue.
taped
There
together.
was like some kind. I don't know how she fucking did it. But
Okay.
anyway.
Okay.
So Elizabeth began folding Starburst wrappers in the fall of 2017 during one of her college classes at Furman University. Elizabeth's college professor, Dr. Judy Stewart, would provide her students with candy during their evening class, and then the students would quickly eat their Starburst to give the wrappers to Elizabeth. Eventually, fast forward, students from Elizabeth's other classes began giving their candy wrappers to her as well. The last 2,000 to make the 10,000 or so wrappers came from her class during her first and second year of teaching, where she said, as a reward or to help the students stay awake, during a longer day, I would share Starbursts, and they were so careful to not rip the wrappers. So there you go.
Fairly easy
Elizabeth
not to rip
Allen
those.
of Greenville, South Carolina, the world record holder for most candy wrappers linked in a chain.
So wait,
Candy.
she started doing this in 2017? Where the fuck has she been storing this giant wrapper snake for all those years? Because,
Gosh,
you know, the
wow.
second you lay that down, that shit's getting all tangled and fucked up.
That's a good point.
I'm sure she had a designated spot for that. I have to wonder like how well she did during the pandemic, and then also what's this bitch's teeth look like? Pardon my language, Miss Gracie, but like I hope you have a dental plan. Maybe that's a lot of damn stuff. What'd you say? 10,000 wrappers?
10,000 candy wrappers.
That's a lot of goddamn Starburst, dude.
That is, because I mean, what's the average, like,
In the little bar, maybe a dozen, 15
Yeah.
tops. Like it's you know that little bar of Starburst is pretty good. They also have the dual pack. I believe and then they have the family size bags, which is a pound of candy. I don't know how many is in that, but that's a pound of candy. It's a pound of plastic rubber going in your tummy that you then
Plus-
somehow digest.
American Starburst suck. I'm going to go out there on a limb and say that.
Fascinating.
If you ever go to the UK or Europe and get some Starburst, way better and different colors.
Okay.
I remember one time I went back to England to visit and I bought a pack of Starburst back just to show this case. Because when at the time, I was working for a company and they had like a snack bar. And in one of the things, they had Starburst. And it was like it's like pink, red, and yellow, maybe orange as well.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Whereas when I came back from it, I had green, I had purple, I had all these different colors of Starburst, and it blowing people's minds.
I bet the difference between the American Starburst and the European Starburst, including the UK, is lack of corn syrup over there. It's very noticeable.
Situation.
It's very noticeable. Like even when I was drinking just regular Captain Morgan's rum, I was like, oh, this actually tastes like alcohol. Oh my God. That's rough. Fucking hell.
Oh, the amount of like soda, similar thing with the corn syrup. I used to pound sodas back home. Now, whenever I go back and I take a sip of a can of Coke from England or Europe, I'm just like, what the fuck is this? It tastes so different.
So different. Yeah.
It's night and day. And then because normally, just make it worth my while. I normally stay over there for like a week or two, and my taste buds slowly get used to that. And then I come back home and I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Nightmare.
Damned if you do, damned if you don't.
But yeah. So congratulations, I guess, to Elizabeth Allen. Jesus Christ. What is she gonna do? Like now she's broke the world record, what's she gonna do?
I would imagine she'd wrap it around her house. Assuming she has a house and not an apartment.
She spent all her money on candy.
Ooh. Oh.
Now,
Failhorn.
Like what you said earlier, now maybe she could convert it into a quilt so she stays warm because she's going to be sleeping homeless.
Well, she has to unwrap the entire chain now. I don't even know if that's possible.
Sounds like she's got time on her hands.
Yeah, fair enough.
But
she's a college graduate. She ain't doing nothing.
Well, apparently she's a teacher. Now, so.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, she free child labor. She can get the kids to unwrap all those things.
Boom, yeah. Today, kids, we're learning teamwork.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So
congratulations.
You're welcome.
Still to come on this week's Waffle Box with 140. We got the other side of the break. We got this week's birthday blackjack game. Ooh, love it. Celebrity Battle Royal with an on this day theme. Kush is going to be reviewing Dune, Part 2, and much more. Look at that. He's got a knife. If you're watching the YouTube version, he's just holding a knife. He don't give a fuck. So if you disagree with his
knife
review,
chip and break during this review.
Oh, see, you played Knifey Spoony before.
I know the reference.
Yeah,
I understand.
It's probably best to take a break. So yeah, stick around if you would. Appreciate it. And while we're gone, watch the fan commercial. It's a little bit of a topical. And I'll explain on the other side of the break. But hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. Appreciate it. We'll be right back after the short break. Peace.
It's WCW Fashion Brawlers with Diamond Dallas Page and Sting, Kevin Nash and Goldberg. Fashion Brawlers.
Are you ready to bash and brawl?
When you wrestle with Fashion Brawlers, they tell you what you're bashing.
He smashed my head.
Listen.
Oh, my God.
He knows you're grabbing his nose.
Get off my nose.
Twist his arm.
Oh, my aching arm.
Hear him beg when you bend his leg.
You're breaking my leg.
Fashion Brawlers tell you when you win.
1, 2, 3. Who's next?
It's like they're alive. Fashion Brawlers, they tell you what you're bashing. Eat sold separately.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome back to Waffle Box episode 140. You have found yourself in the middle of the show, so it's perfect time for the middle of the show quiz. Birthday blackjack of the show. But yeah, if you did enjoy that little commercial break, that was the topicalness because Sting hits Sting. The legend of professional wrestling, retired on Sunday. He had his final match in All Elite Wrestling, and he was one of the brawling buddies in the commercial. So I just thought I'd put that one in there.
Okay.
So, Sting. It's a man called Sting. Yeah. Shout out to Sting.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your marvelous career.
I've only gotten to see
Entertaining.
one Sting match in my life. It was at WrestleMania 31 against
Oof.
Triple H. It was the match I was very much looking forward to. I don't remember it being very good, but I also don't remember a lot because I was like, oh man, I think we'd been there like 4 hours already. I was definitely a 6-pack deep. I had popped some THC pills, plural. And then, yeah, I'd look at the photos the next day and go like, oh shit, Hulk Hogan was there. Wow.
Yeah, it made no fucking sense. Like, for those that don't know, so Sting faced Triple H at WrestleMania, whatever it was, in
31 in Santa
31.
Clara.
And so
The home of Future Bowl 60.
DX came out to help Triple H, and the NWO came out to help Sting because, you know, DX was WWF, NWO was WCW. But if you know anything, Sting pretty much spent his entire WCW career fighting the NWO. He was the anti-NWO guy. So it made zero sense for Hulk Hogan, Scott Hall, and Kevin Nash to help with whatever.
With what little I know about the WCW, he was in the NWO for a minute, but again,
He was in
his will.
He was in the NWO Red and Black and Red or something. Red and Black. It was like a splinter group.
Yeah, that was the Latino.
He was like bringing it down in the Wolfpack. There you go.
Bro.
He was in the Wolfpack, not technically in the whatever. I'm sure everyone loves hearing about this. But yeah,
bad opportunity for not having Conan there. Then, like, he was a big part of that. Rey Mysterio also could have popped in. Anyway, we're getting way beyond anything here. Sorry, I derailed everything with my Sting story.
Not a problem. Right, it's the middle of the show, so we're going to do birthday blackjack. So, fun fact: March 6th. Not many interesting people have their birthday today. So, we're going to change it slightly. So we're going to talk about people who celebrate their birthday in the past 7 days. So since the last episode of Waffle Box, people had their birthday. So we're now celebrating people who had their birthday February 29th to March 6th, 2024. So, just in case that, get that into the right mindset, Kush, because you're trying to have to guess. If this is the first time watching the birthday blackjack segment, what we're going to do, I'm going to name 5 celebrities, and Kush has to try to guess how old they are. Now they've had another year on this earth, and he has to get less than 21 or less. So if they're 55 and he guesses 57, he scores 2, and he has to score less than 22, so he doesn't blackjack out or whatever. What's the word? What's the word when you go over?
A bust.
When you go bust. He doesn't want to go. He doesn't want to bust. That's on you on the OnlyFans. Anyway, if you would. Lathan, hit some music.
Number one.
In this week, first birthday is Rebel Wilson.
Okay.
Rebel Wilson. How
Australian
old is Rebel
chick?
Wilson now? Yes, she's Australian.
She's relatively young, man. I think she's like only 32.
He's going with 32.
I don't think she's older than that. She's like ridiculously young for what she's been doing this last decade.
All I'll say is that she loves you because this week she turned 44.
Oh wow, good for her. She lost a bunch of weight too, from what I understand.
I'm sure. Is she on a Ozempic? Everyone's on a Ozempic apparently.
I don't know what she's on, but I think she did the Adele diet, whatever that was. But like,
maybe she did it herself. Don't sue me. It was just a topical joke because a lot of people do Ozempic right now. I'm not saying. Speaking of someone that looks amazing for their age, Eva Mendes celebrated a birthday this week. How old is Eva Mendes?
Eva Mendes is probably closer to like 45, unfortunately, for her. She's still beautiful though. Like, she could be 72, and she's got those Selma Hayek genes where you're just like, there's no way you're 62. What? Yeah. What did I say? 45?
45. She turned 50. The big
Good for her. Damn.
So you're getting close, but there's still wiggle room. You can do this.
I think I boned myself on Rebel Wilson. But you're keeping track of all this, so you tell me.
That's what he said, I guess. All right. And this week, Mr. Bieber, Justin Bieber, celebrated a birthday. Canadian singer / terrible driver. Justin Bieber. How old is Justin Bieber now?
I believe he is under 30 now. I'm going to say 27.
He's going with 27. Biebs hit the milestone. He is now 30 years old.
Okay. Still in it.
You're still in it. You're up to 20. So there is very little wiggle room, but wiggle room nevertheless. So
oh my goodness. Also, Justin Bieber's 30. Weird.
Number 4. Star of Happy Days and movie director, Mr. Ron Howard, and narrator for Arrested Development. How old is Ron Howard?
I'm going to flip the Justin Bieber age and say 72.
He's gone for 72. He's 70. Ooh.
Wow. Oh.
So unfortunately, you bust, but still, way better than you did last week. I think you scored like 70 odd last week.
Last week was rough, it was more disappointing because I had such a great week in the debut. But
the debut,
one more for fun.
You knocked it out of the park. I think you only scored like 15 or 16,
something like that. Yeah, one more just for fun.
One more just for fun.
Number 5.
Number 5. I'm Batman. Jessica Biel.
Oh wow.
Who I believe is she married to Justin Timberlake?
I think she was.
Or she was.
I believe she was.
And she's done other things. I mean, I'm not going to knock her. She's done other things.
She's done other stuff. I believe she is 40.
He's going with 40. She turned 42.
Damn.
So, unfortunately...
Rebel Wilson screwed me.
Good. 24.
All right.
You're a loser.
But no, lose.
Yeah, if it wasn't for that Rebel Wilson, you did actually good. No, it was like only 2 out, 3 out. Damn you, Rebel Wilson! Bless you.
I hope you eat your weight in Haagen-Dazs. And then hit yourself in the head with the nunchucks. She does nunchucks. That's not a weird reference.
Does she?
Yes. She's done it in a couple movies now for some reason, and then because of that, she did a live demonstration on a Graham Norton episode. I was like, oh, she really knows how to do the nunchucks. It ain't like she's not a ninja or anything, but she can do the basic little pass and that whole thing. She can cross arms.
Good for her.
Yeah, she's a girl, so she can go between the legs and not potentially damage herself.
I wouldn't trust anyone or me around those kind of things because that's. Speaking of nunchucks, you have just led our way into a marvelous segue, my friend, without even knowing it.
Oh man, I am the segue master tonight.
Guys, and I'll get into that once I introduce you to this week's celebrity, a battle royale.
Let's get ready to rumble!
So, Celebrity Battle Royale is when I give Kush 4 celebrities who are linked together in some way, and he has to decide in which order they are eliminated and who is the eventual winner of this week's Celebrity Battle Royale crowned Celebrity Battle Royale champion. You mentioned nunchucks there. Nunchucks.
Two sticks
Um,
attached by a chain or a
two
string.
chicks attached by a chain. Because on this day, March 6th, in 1992, the Michelangelo computer virus was released.
Oh, okay.
Michelangelo was his favorite weapon.
The nunchucks.
The nunchucks. So, with that being said, I thought, you know what? We always see them fighting alongside of each other. And there was always some tension, especially in the movies. But who would win? So let's pit the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles against one another.
Oh, this is easy.
He's going for an easy one. So for those playing at home,
if we're talking the original Gen 1 Ninja Turtles, I got this locked. If you're asking about any newer iteration, maybe not so much. But
all right, we are talking about, just for fun then, because since you're trying, let me clarify them. Let me riff on this one. So for those playing at home, we are obviously talking about Michelangelo versus Donatello versus Leonardo versus Raphael. We are going to go with the 1980. Is it 1988? When did the first movie come out?
1990.
Was it? Was it? Okay, I thought it was still in the late 80s. But anyway, all right. So the first movie, not the cartoons, definitely not the third. What the fuck was that? But we're talking about Turtles 1, the movie. Who you got in this battle? They're just had enough of each other. You know what?
Yeah.
They're just living in the same. They've been living in sewer for too goddamn long, and they're sick of each other, so they're gonna fight each other.
So Mikey plays a prank on Donatello, forcing him to look the other way, and then he sucker punches him, and Donatello falls out of the ring, eliminating himself. Raphael I don't know why Michelangelo is wearing a hockey jersey, but Raphael pulls the hockey jersey over Michelangelo's face and starts pummeling him in the face, and then throws him out of the ring, and Michelangelo is disqualified. Now, this comes down between Leo and Raphael. Both are accomplished fighters. One, actually, he's a little more disciplined. He's a little more patient, whereas Raphael's
Raphael's
too emotional. He could go left, he could go right. You're not really sure, but you will know that he'll be out of control. And that's when Leonardo gets the better advantage of him. And Leonardo, the original leader of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, stands supreme over Raphael. It's close, though. It's very close. It's very close.
Yeah, no,
I feel like I should always be stretching these out longer, but they go how I call them. So
no, don't go with your gut. Go with your feelings, man. This is how this rolls. But I could see it because I would have gone down to this final two. Raphael and Leonardo was definitely the final two in my head. Yeah, I guess it's each their own day. I guess because like I said, Raphael's a bit of a loose cannon, but he also. See, Leonardo's very squarish, but sometimes you're like, does that mean he will stay level-headed in a fight and be able to? Or with Raphael's craziness, it's tough. Like you said, it's close. It's close.
You just have to mention Raphael's non-existent mom, like Raphael, your mom is a turtle, and you're like, what? Fuck you! Like that's all it takes. But Leonardo would be like, yeah, I know my mom's a turtle, but what's that to you? That would go on for like 20 minutes before Leonardo possibly snaps, whereas Raphael would just crack under the slightest pressure.
Although, do you remember in Turtles 2, like Raphael, I mean, he ended up losing, but he took on like 50 foot soldiers at once. He's a tough guy.
I think you're talking about Turtles 1, but yeah.
Is that Turtles 1?
Yes. If it's on a rooftop and an antique shop.
Wait, what happens in Turtles? Oh, yes, Turtles 2. Turtles the Ooze one. Yes, sorry. Yes, it is Return. Yes. Such a great. And April O'Neil's showing them around the antique store, and then he falls through the ceiling.
Great movie. That first movie still holds up. I saw it like about a year ago again.
I'll tell you what, it didn't hold up. The suits. Have you ever seen a
Yeah,
recent
I've
photo
seen those
of that?
photos. Horrific.
Jesus Christ, that's scary. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's gone mad.
Hey, yeah, that's a fair comparison.
Oh yeah, congratulations, Leonardo. This week's Celebrity Barrel champion. Champion. Right, let's talk about movies, baby. Let's talk about. Wait, let's talk about. Let's talk about sets, baby. Let's talk about the movies. Let's talk about Chalamet and Zendaya in the sand. Let's talk about movies. That wasn't my best freestyle, I'll be honest.
Yeah,
but
you tried.
It,
You tried.
it worked out. It's now time for a segment where Kush reviews a movie in a segment that we like to call Kush's Movie Review.
Kush's Movie Review.
Yes, welcome to Kush's Movie Review. This week's movie review is Dune or June, depending on how you want to pronounce it. Dune Part 2, the sequel to the original Dune, which is a video game adaptation starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, where they go to Mars, I believe, and have to fight aliens. It was a great video game, classic. So Dune.
You know what? I would watch a one play of that if that really existed. It does not though, and we will move on. We are talking about Dune Part 2. It is the sequel to Dune Part 1, surprisingly, from 2021. Both were directed by Denis Villeneuve. He's French, I believe, or I'm not 100% sure, but it looks like Denis Villeneuve. No, Denis Villeneuve. And co-written by John Spites, based on the book series of Frank Herbert, Dune and God of Dune and Emperor Dune. And I don't know. I believe there's like a dozen books in the title. Anyway, this movie is PG-13. Good action, but as far as the violence is concerned, yeah, don't worry about bringing your kids under 13 to this. They'll most actually likely be bored, but we'll get into that in a little bit here. 2 hours 46 minutes. Mike, you know me, man. It's already got stuff counting against it, but we'll get into that too in a minute here. As Mr. Fish mentioned, Timothy Chalamet, Oakland native Zendaya, Rebecca Ferguson, Javier Bardem, Dave Bautista, Austin Butler, Josh Brolin, and Christopher Walken. And then there's a few more other bodies in there, but god damn it, like the main characters are Chalamet, Zendaya, and Ferguson. And then oh yeah, there was a Skarsgård. Skarsgård plays the Emperor. So saw Dune Part 1 when it came out in 2021, and before that, my only experience with the Dune series, I've never read the books, never read any of the books. I remember the 1985 David Lynch movie, and I've probably tried to watch that 5 or 6 times and has only made it successfully once, and I had no idea what the hell was going on. From what I understand, they were trying to like cram like 2 books into that super long movie, but however, if you're in dire need of a cure for insomnia, David Lynch's Dune is Dr. Kush's prescription for you. About a decade and a half later, the Sci-Fi Channel would try their own hand at it and do a mini series of Dune. And I think they also tried to combine 2 books. However, they actually had a week long of mini series. So it was a 10-hour mini series. I remember it being better than David Lynch, but the only other thing I remember is like, oh my god, these combat scenes, for some reason now they're doing jujitsu and MMA. I found it to be quite comical at the time, and this was at a time when UFC was not UFC yet. Like it was just kind of a thing that a folks.
Just a fat guy with one boxing glove versus a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yes, you are 100% correct on that, Mike Fish. So, anyways, we get to 2021, we're in the middle of a pandemic, and Warner Brothers decides to release Dune. It's only been advertised as Dune. We don't know anything else. All the marketing says Dune. So we have no other reason to assume that it would be kind of like David Lynch's Dune. However, once that movie starts, title card pops up, Dune. Okay, you're all paying attention. And then it goes part one. And I went, oh, fuck. I was immediately turned off knowing that, oh, we absolutely have another one of these coming. Having said that, once we got through that 2.5 hour movie, I wanted to see what happened next. It kept my attention the entire time. It's a complicated lore, complicated backstory. I'm still not 100% sure why the Emperor turned on House Atreides, whatever.
Hungarian.
Chalamet's family. I don't know what that was about. However, I still felt it was easier to follow. Everything is very crisp and clean looking. However, a lot of it is just they're in the desert. So we get to Dune Part 2. My biggest shock with Dune.
I apologize. Jump in before you start talking about Dune Part 2. I will just say about the Dune Part 1 was that it was a good, fun movie, good movie. It kept me like into it, like you say, the same.
Kept your attention. Yeah.
But it did, like, unlike other
like
movies.
Shit.
Unlike other movies that have a part 2 or a sequel, they at least kind of have a somewhat of a mini story arc within them. So at least you feel somewhat of a, that's the end of that story. Now I'm excited about part 2. This, if I remember correctly, this did feel almost like abrupt of tune in next week for Dune 2. It's like, what? Which was very frustrating for me. I apologize, but yeah, that
was frustrating for me too. That was frustrating for a lot of people. And then I think what added to the frustration is industry reports be like, so in a couple months they're going to start filming Dune Part 2, and I was like, whoa, wait a minute. You went into this knowing it was going to be a Part 1 and didn't even bother doing production for Part 2. You didn't film these back to back. Like one that's actually a cost saving move, but like, what if this movie was terrible? What if Dune Part 1 was absolutely terrible? Were you really just gonna leave it there? Like it felt like a huge gamble that could not, with the pandemic and everything going against it. Like felt like this could have been a huge failure. Dune Part 1, however, in the United States of America, they released it in theaters. Not a lot of theaters open, so they also released it on HBO Max the very same day. Domestically, still made $48 million. Quite very good for those early days of the pandemic. Internationally, though, all the pandemic stuff was lifted. The restrictions were lifted, so people were free to go to the movie theater. There was no spacing. You could fill up a whole auditorium, and the international audience was all in on Dune Part 1, and that's where it made it the majority of its money. And I guess that's why they went, all right, go do Part 2. But again, it's like such an extreme gamble. Anyways, Dune Part 2 leaves off where Dune Part 1 ended. Again, our hero Timothée Chalamet and Zendaya, they're following Javier Bardem into the desert. He is slowly being accepted into the Fremen culture, Fremen. By the way, this is a book series from like the 1960s. So Fremen, you had a little more artistic license to be cute with shit like that. But the entire time they're saying Fremen, I'm actually like gritting my teeth. I don't know why. I'm just like, come on, guys. What the? Anyways. Small nitpick. Timothée Chalamet is the one. He rejects his quest. He's just like, I just want to be down with you guys. I want to fight with you guys. I don't want to be your leader. Blah 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 blah. And well, fate intervenes. He's got magical force powers. By the way, George Lucas stole a lot of the original Star Wars from this series. There's an emperor. There's force powers. You can literally do a Jedi mind trick on people. It's
lots of sand.
Lots of sand. There's surprisingly no gay robots on this, but hey, maybe that's what Dune Part 3 is for. I don't know. I don't know. Um, Having said all that, dude, this was again kept my attention the entire time. I like to think I know what was going on. It felt like I felt like I had a pretty easy time following it. Acting is fantastic. Austin Butler is a really good bad guy. He should have a little more character development, but I liked his character. Again, the Emperor is super creepy looking, which is the point. Dave Bautista, he's there. I like seeing Dave Bautista and other stuff. Like I like to see him like, no, I'm trying to take like these roles seriously and I'm trying to be a part of serious movies. He still does the one or two kids movies, but
I walk for miles inside this pit of danger.
He's maybe in only 10 minutes of this movie, which and a lot of the people in that cast roster I named suffer the same fate. They're 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes of this 2 hour and 45-minute extravaganza to the point it's like, did his name really need to be on the poster? Again, nitpick.
His face is on the poster.
Did he need his own character sheet poster then? Again, small nitpick. Again, I liked everybody in this. The visuals are great, but remember, we're in a desert. So yeah, there's some cool nightscapes, some cool skylines, but sand looks like sand on any screen. We're going to talk about this later tonight with Oppenheimer as well, but don't fall for the hype of you need to see this the way it was intended to be seen on an IMAX. You know, there's 10 IMAXs, 10 legitimate IMAXs in the entire United States continent. Everything else that says IMAX, if it's not one of those 9 or 10, it's not the same thing. So just I saw this in a regular, normal ass 2D screen, and I was like, this looks beautiful. Oh, and because it's one of the newer theaters in San Francisco, the sound is fantastic. I didn't need to fucking do the. I feel like a lot of people don't know the difference between IMAX, Dolby, and just regular ass screen. Look, man, my TV set over here is pretty big, but the screen I saw it on was still like 10 times the size. Like, how big does this fucking thing need to be? Look, you're gonna have a good time. I promise you. If you want to go see it in IMAX, sure. Feel free to spend an extra $10, but I'm telling you, you're gonna have a good time in the theater, just seeing it in a theater. If you have to see it in IMAX because that's the only theater or only screening in 10 minutes, by all means do that. But don't drive 70 miles out of your way for that special format, guys. I'm telling you, don't believe the hype. If you got a shitty theater in your neighborhood, act accordingly. But I enjoyed Dune Part 2 all the way. I would like to go see it again. I might just wait for it to come on the old 4K TV here when it's on HBO Max or whatever it's called nowadays. However, Dune Part 2, 5 out of 5, and I want to see the next movie if that ever happens. I'm sure it will happen. This is doing financially pretty well. It's like one of the best rated movies of the last 10 years.
Oh.
I think it replaced the Shawshank Redemption as IMDb's top 250.
Damn.
I believe that's true. I need someone to double check that for me. Lathan, get on that some other time.
I will watch. I don't know if I'm going to venture out into the cinema. I'll probably wait till it's on HBO or whatever Max. It just does feel weird when you're saying our hero, Timothée Chalamet.
Mm-hmm. He is the protagonist, so take that.
I know he is, but it just seems like I don't know. He looks like. Do you know who Timothée Chalamet should play? He should play Spider-Man's younger brother.
Spider-Man doesn't have a younger brother.
I know, but I could see him.
I mean, they
in
could
a movie with Tom Holland. I could see him in.
I believe he's older than Tom Holland.
Yeah, but he looks 12, so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be fair, Tom Holland doesn't look very old to be fair, so.
No. Timothée Chalamet is a very good actor. I've only seen him in a handful of things. There's some things I've wanted to see him in that I missed. Wonka was not one of them, but I understand people are enjoying that movie as well. So, and I believe that comes out on the Max app this week. So, If you like Chalamet, you got tons of Chalamet this month. Yeah, he's a very good actor. Zendaya is good. Again, everyone is very good in this movie. There was not one weak link in the chain. So,
except for needed more Dave Bautista.
Well, you would like more Dave Bautista. You will hate what Dave Bautista has to do in this movie. So there's a scene where Austin Butler fights a bunch of slaves in an arena a la Gladiator, and for whatever reason, the entire thing is in black and white. There's no context to it. It's not a flashback to anything. It's present time. For whatever, we started the scene in color, and then he entered the arena, and everything was black and white. The crowd is in black and white. The Emperor is there rooting on his nephew in black and white. I believe it said it was filmed with like much like a Zone of Interest on the last Best Picture review. Where like, yeah, they took that thermo camera, and for I think they used like a very sophisticated tune. Whatever. I don't understand what the context of that was. Even in the terrible movie Thor: Love and Thunder, Thor Part 4, there is a moment where they go onto a planet that's entirely in black and white. They're like, the gravity on this thing has sucked all the color out of life, and you're like, oh, okay, that's weird, but that's at least an explanation.
Yeah,
we don't even get that in this. Again, but 5 out of 5. One more fun fact: this movie was due to come out Thanksgiving.
Just the facts, ma'am.
3 months ago, and that would have put it in contention for this weekend's Oscars category. And I have to wonder what it would have done against those other 10 Best Picture nominees. Because I'm the way everyone is reviewing this, including yours truly, like I absolutely would see this among the 10. Which one would get plucked out of there? I don't know. It's a Zone of Interest, maybe, just because I hated that one a lot. Maestro, probably. That was just terrible. But yeah, Dune Part 2 is got a very strong contention for the next year Oscar ceremony. But I wonder what would have happened had the writer-actor strike not affected its release. That's all I got.
Maybe that was a conscious decision. Maybe that was like we've got Barbie, we've got Oppenheimer, we've got all these great movies.
There's some strong contenders in this.
Maybe let's try.
But we'll get into that
release it a little bit later, and maybe we can win something next year. Maybe.
A big thing for all the studios pushing dates back was like, well, we can't. Timothy Chalamet is not allowed to now plug movies during the month of October, so push Dune back. I honestly don't think their box office would have been affected by that had they kept it at its original date.
No. I don't think there was, and this is not legitimately. I'm not trying to be funny. This is not a knock on Timothée Chalamet, but I don't think that this could have been any of the actors in the movie. Zendaya, Dave Bautista, who I love, remember that. But yeah, I don't think anyone who was going to see Dune 2, there was no one on the fence, and then going, oh wait, that interview that Timothée Chalamet did was so good that sold me. Here's my money. Like they were going to go see anyway. So
yeah, again, it's Dune, so it's already got that built-in core audience. Denis Villeneuve, he's got his own built-in core audience. Like people, and then Dune Part 1 already happened, and because it was on HBO Max, it had a wide berth. Like regardless of how much money it made, thousands of people saw it and loved it. So like people were already excited about this, and then the popcorn buckets came out.
Happy days.
Happy. So
there you go.
Again, Dune Part 2, 5 out of 5.
Before we wrap up this week's movie review, just to give you a little heads up on a new feature we are trying to pimp. I guess that's the right word. So in future, to check out our socials at Wafflebox on Twitter, not X, Twitter, and we'll post up ahead of time what Kush will be reviewing in next week's episode. And then if you've also seen that movie, then you too can review the movie by getting involved. You can leave us a voicemail and we will play your thoughts on the movie during Kush's movie review. Fun, right? So make sure you follow our socials at Wafflebox on Twitter. And the number that you need is 347 559 5227. That's 347 559 5227. Give that number a call, leave us a voicemail, and I'll play it on the show. Fun stuff.
There you go.
So there you go. So that was a Dune 2, 5 out of 5. Make sure you check it out. Let's wrap up this week's show as we always do by giving us all warm and fuzzy feelings inside of our dummies. It's now time for this week's. And then rub your head as well. It's do that and then pat the top of your head, right? No, I can't do it properly because I'm patting the top of my head. But
no,
I'm
you're doing it fine.
But I'm kind of anyway.
No, you're doing it fine.
It's this week's feel-good story of the week.
It's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
This week's feel-good story comes to us from the Bronx. Who would have thunk it? The Bronx in New York City. The probably the fourth best borough of New York. It's like probably if I had to say that like
number one.
Yeah, like number one, that probably like Brooklyn, and then like Queens is slight, just ever so like, but it's neck and neck. It was almost neck and neck. But Brooklyn and Queens is number 1 and 2, then Manhattan, and then like the Bronx is down here, and then Staten Island is like you don't remember that Staten Island is one of the 5 boroughs. What is the point of it? There you go. But still, Bronx. We're in the Bronx for this feel-good story. David, quote, David Sandy Gottsman, a very rich man who founded a prominent investment house and was an early investment in Berkshire Hathaway, Warren Buffett's multinational conglomerate, unfortunately passed away in September of 2022 at the age of 96. Now you're wondering, Jesus Christ, Mike, why are you starting off a feel-good story with a man's death? Well, his wealth was left to his wife, Dr. Ruth Gottsman, a former professor at the Albert Einstein College of Medicine in the Bronx in New York City. And she recently decided to donate. I think this might deserve a drum roll, Mr. Latham, if you wouldn't mind. $1 billion.
Wow.
To the college to pay for the tuition of current and future medical students.
Nice.
So Dr. Gottsman, who's now 93, began working at the school in 1968. She studied learning disabilities, ran literacy programs, and developed widely used screening and evaluation protocols. She said in a statement that the doctors who train at Einstein go on to, quote, provide the finest healthcare to communities here in the Bronx and all over the world. I'm very thankful to my late husband, Sandy, for leaving these funds in my care, and I feel blessed to be given the great privilege of making this gift to such a worthy cause. The statement from Einstein noted that students in their final year will be reimbursed for their spring 2024 tuition, and from August, all students, including those who are currently enrolled, will receive free tuition. The donation will, quote, free up and lift our students, enabling them to pursue projects and ideas that might otherwise be prohibitive. In an interview with the New York Times, Dr. Gottsman said that she occasionally wonders what her husband would have thought of her donation. Quote, I hope he's smiling and not frowning, she said. He gave me the opportunity to do this, and I think he would be happy. I hope so.
For sure.
Boom. And I wonder, because they in this story, it says something like each, I think roughly I should have wrote it down. I did the math, but each is it semester? They say, is that a thing? Semester. That's a thing.
Semester. Yeah, there's two
like,
of them in a year.
So like, oh my god, this is so much
Maybe
money.
3
I have to
something.
turn my phone wrong. So 1 billion. This is going to pay for, on average, 20,000 semesters of education. Nice. It's like, what?
That's great.
That's cray. So yeah,
I don't know how many students that one hospital has or that one school has, but like less than 10 years of tuition at best. Like, I mean, let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. She did not have to do this whatsoever. So this is a beautiful gesture. Also, a lot of dads are happy because now their daughters can afford to stop stripping.
Yeah.
However, those clubs will be very empty. So, anyways, jokes aside, yeah, this is a wonderful thing. I hope these folks don't fuck it off. Like, take this shit seriously. Like, do more now. You don't have to worry about money, so you don't have to worry about a job. You don't have to worry about any of that other shit. Like, just fucking find a cure for cancer, please.
Knuckle down, kids.
Fucking hell.
Yeah, what a
be the best of the best.
I don't want to turn this into it, but yeah, like you say, almost like how many students this will help and blah 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 blah. To think that realistically, because how many years? I think it's
like another 7 years after college.
It's like let's just say on average 6 years for medical school. So that's going to be 20,000 semesters, 2 semesters per year, right? So it's 10,000.
Sometimes 3, but we're talking about medical school, so that's a whole other game.
Just for argument, let's say 10,000.
Just for argument.
So 10,000 years divided by 6. It's like, let's just say the maths isn't
one
there,
graduating class.
Let's just say it's going to be like 2,000 students. This is going to benefit.
Okay.
Which is awesome. But how crazy is it that
doctors.
$1 billion equals 2,000? That's insane money. Yeah. But Dr. Gottsman, what a gal. Putting good money to good use. I always like these kind of stories because I remember it was it the McDonald's movie, The Founder, when didn't she end up donating a lot of his money when he died to charities and stuff like that?
I forget that, but they did. The guy in charge of McDonald's did set up a lot of different like tuition and scholarships and et cetera, but I don't remember what the wife did when he died.
Oh, I think she gave away the majority of it. I think I remember seeing it like a blurb at the end of the movie.
Okay. Well, good for her.
Sisters are doing it for themselves, standing on her own 2 feet, etc. There you go. Shout out, doing great things, and I look forward to getting medical care from the fine folks at the Bronx. I apologize, I said you were the 4th best.
Oh, the Bronx. Yeah, right. That's a specific neighborhood too. Interesting. Gonna be a lot of doctors coming out of the Bronx. That's exciting.
Hopefully they cross the river and come over to Jersey and help me out because I'm getting older. I need to help. But
I also got to wonder, like, were there no kids involved? I hope there's an situation like we lost our kids when they were 30. No, like, just wondering if it's like that Gran Torino situation where like, fucking hate my family, so I'm giving the house to the church and I'm giving my favorite car to the Vietnamese kid next door.
Fuck them kids.
Fuck these kids.
And that wraps up another joyful and interesting, quite frankly, episode of Waffle Box episode 140. As I said, I think remember correctly, we're about 8 weeks out from our 3rd birthday. Ooh,
that's exciting. We're gonna have to super investigate that.
We are, and hopefully we'll do a live episode. That'd be fun for our.
I'm down.
But yes, make sure you follow all our socials at WaffleBox on Twitter, at WaffleBoxPod on everything else. Like I said, if you do want to chime in and get your thoughts on next week's movie review, once we announce what we are going to be doing. The number again, 347-559-5227. That's 347-559-5227. Give us a call. I won't be weird and answer it. It will go to voicemail, and you'll be able to hear your voicemail played on the show. But don't forget to let us know your name and where you're from, so we can give you a shout out when we play your message. Kush, you all right, mate? You all right? You look like you've
getting ready to run back into the sand, sir. But no idea if we're doing a microdose this week. I apologize for last week. We had an episode and it was uneditable.
Ooh.
Forget unplayable, which is the first time we've had that in 186 episodes. And I know we've missed a bunch of weeks, but I'd rather at least release something decent as opposed to garbage, which no one's fault. If anyone, it was my fault. But there was no episode last week. I don't know if there'll be one this week. Forward we move.
That was a hell of a sell. Got a microdose.
What are you gonna do?
Positive apparently. But there's, as you said, there's like 170 odd episodes for you to enjoy. About 5 of them with me on. So yeah, plenty for you to enjoy. I am at only Mike Fish on Twitter. He is at Kush for Days on Facebook. It's a good night for me. It's a good night from him. Producer Lathan, final thoughts.
Well, in closing, I'd just like to say that March 6th is apparently National Dentist's Day and National Oreo Cookie Day, which seems like a bit of a contradictory conundrum. Anyway, remember to leap your clocks forward 3 hours this weekend, and we'll see you next time. Cheerio.
1 hour.
You cunt.
Motherfucker. Right. Until next time, take care of yourselves. And each other.
That's all, folks.
Yo, that is messed up, yo. I am not gay, and I sure as hell ain't no fish, all right?
Play me off, Johnny.